years gone by, people used to use their mobile phones just to call people or text people. Obviously now people are emailing, creating office documents, etc. Going forward, people are talking about using mobile phones to pay for things and storing more and more sensitive data. Does that concern you about the security threats going forward?
Well, to be honest, when I saw the first mobile phone back in 1990 something, I guessed that in the future there will be everything in a mobile phone. That's your wallet, that's your ID, that's your camera, and that's your phone as well.
Yeah.
But this is just one device which explains who you are and probably embedded into your finger.
Okay, and in terms of one of the things that I've noticed is that people who use Mac operating system or kind of open source have largely escaped under the radar from the attentions of hackers and people creating viruses. Do you see that changing in the future, and what advice would you give to kind of the open source community and Mac fans?
Yeah. Mac system or Linux-based systems, they are quite same as Microsoft Windows from the security point of view. It's possible to infect them in the very same ways, and but still there are not so big problem with malware for these systems, simply because the hackers, the criminals, they don't pay attention to that because of some reasons as well. First reason is that Microsoft Windows is much more spread and it's dominates the market. For criminals to infect say 1,000 of Mac machines, it's quite difficult probably. To infect 1,000 of Windows-based systems, like that. Second reason is that they are lazy humans as we are, and they develop Windows Trojans, and to develop the same Trojans for smartphones or for Mac systems, they have learned a bit about the systems. They are lazy. They are happy with Windows. And last reason why there are not so many Mac Trojans, there are, but not so many, because the countries, the territories which are responsible for the most of cybercrime, China, Latin America, and Russian-speaking countries, Mac systems, they are not so popular. Still, they are not so popular.
Okay.
So Mac is mostly in the United States and Western Europe. The territories which are which have the rest of cyber criminals. But still the number of Mac computers is growing, and most of Mac users, they think that they are secure because it's a secure operating system, and they will be very, very easy victims in the future if they don't change their mind. They are like, they feel themselves like on the beach. And Windows users at the same time in the same place, they are prepared with an iron jacket, with helmets, with all the stuff. They are protected, and they are Mac users in bikini. So who is a victim?
Okay. So
just waiting.
So it's a matter of kind of timing, really. You think it's coming?
It's time, number of Mac users, number of services on the Mac machines,
sure,
and waiting when Mac is one of the most popular systems in China.
Fair enough. Okay, that leads me on to my next question. A lot of stories recently in the press about mainly government departments losing USB sticks and things like that, and it seems to be largely down to human error rather than anything kind of technology-based. What do you make of those recent stories, and what could be done apart from not carrying things around on a USB stick?
It's a very, very dangerous issue because there are a lot of data about personal data, with corporate data, which is lost or which is you may access it in a very easy way. And I think this is a question of regulation. There have been very strict rules how to use this data, how to access the data. At least it must be encrypted.
Sure.
At least. There are a lot of technologies and products which are encrypted data. So the rest is what's missing. The regulation. That's all. So that's not a technical problem, that's administrative problem.
And presumably education as well in making sure your users are aware of security. A
bit of education, but mostly administrative restrictions, penalties, rules.
So regulation by companies or by the government?
I think by government. If it comes to personal data, if it comes to the databases, I think that the government have to pay more attention to the problem because that's EU citizens.
So, leads me on to my next question. If we were to meet a year from now, what sort of things would you like to be talking about, and what sort of things would you like to banish to the past in terms of security blips that you've seen?
I think that now we are living in a very interesting time when we see that number of cyber criminals, cyber threats is growing very quickly, and they are more and more complicated. And antivirus, anti-malware companies recognize that we need to bring their security products on the next level from the technological point of view. And now I see it's kind of revolution, because companies, they are coming with different approaches. They come in with approach of the whitelist, for example. Then there is a blacklist database of the known bad software, and at the same time database of the known good software. Their approaches are with behavior blockers, based on the prevention systems which analyze. They are watching the application and make a decision: is it good or bad application. Other technologies which are addition to their traditional signature-based antivirus scanners. So I see that we're living in a very interesting time, and I enjoy to work in their anti-malware company because it's really, really interesting.
Excellent. Eugene, thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you for your questions.